Alright, hey everybody, Morning Muckluck here. Just woke up a little while ago, was starting my workday, and they've released another teaser. This is Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons Elite Specialization, the Bladesworn Warrior. So I'm going to be watching this here with you guys for the first time, for once not before a live studio audience. And as always, I'm going to try to get through the whole thing without pausing the first time, and then we'll go back through it and break it down and spot any little tidbits of knowledge that we can. So let's just jump into it. So it's like a greatsword?
Advances in Canthan technology have yielded a fusion of firearm and longsword. The gun saber. Only a dedicated, highly trained warrior can handle such a volatile weapon.
Is this like a ruby?
Gun saber attacks enhance the Bladesworn's flow, allowing them to use their meditative dragon trigger.
Oh
In this
my
state
gosh.
of calm and concentration,
Yeah.
they can load their gun saber with magically imbued cartridges that power up their attacks. With their gun saber sheathed, they wield offhand pistols to maintain their flow.
Oh, there's so much. There's so much. There's so much. Okay, all right. I'm trying to hide my weeb level here, but I think I'm not going to be able to do so. I think we're going to have to talk about some stuff. Okay, so gun saber. I didn't understand what she called it the first time, but later on in the video I caught it. So not a gun blade, gun saber. An offhand pistol was correct. So going through this a little bit. Let's first go to the icon. Guessed really early on that was a bullet. I think a lot of us guessed that was a bullet. And, you know, we were like, okay, well, that's rifle or pistol. And after they chose the first three classes, we were looking at what was remaining. There was quite a few people that pointed out that Ritlock in the original game was, before he became a Revenant, before he decided to swap classes, he was wielding a one-handed weapon, sword in his right hand, and a pistol in his left. He was a warrior with an offhand pistol. And don't know if this is related at all to that, but he was the first NPC I know of to have an offhand pistol, and now they are getting that. But that seems to be a footnote behind the gun saber. Now, I did predict when I saw the silhouette splash art of the warrior with the sheathed gun saber that it was going to be the class mechanic, not the new weapon. Because if you just, let's say you make a sword look like a gun saber, or you make a pistol look like a gun saber with just like a skin, then if they transmute it to, you know, their weapon to look like any of the pre-existing ones, it's not going to make any sense. What I believe is, like, if they hit maybe F1 or F5, they go into gun saber mode. It's like an extra weapon, similar to when a firebrand uses their tomes, or when a druid uses astral power, things like that. So this icon is the Bladesworn Elite Specialization for Warrior.
Advances in Canthan.
All right, so right away, from the splash art we saw, it kind of looked like it was going to be about the size of a one-handed sword, maybe like a one-handed gun blade, but this graphically looks like a two-hander. It looks like a great sword.
Technology have yielded a fusion
Okay, so right there, she vanished
of firearm
and did a strike. I'm reminded of Master Yi from League of Legends when he becomes untargetable and does a few strikes. And of course, our local Revenants do that as well.
have yielded a fusion of
I love that she started that with the weapon sheathed. It looks like right there. Let me back it up frame by frame here. So right here, she starts it off with the weapon sheathed, and then just like, I guess, pulls the trigger when she pulls the blade out. It just explodes right in her face. I'm very much reminded of both Ruby. For those that have seen that from Rooster Teeth, they, like, every single weapon in that show had, like, shotgun shells in it. And sometimes they would use them for more damage. Sometimes they would use them to propel them in certain directions. Like, there's Yang with her gauntlets, and she would just, like, sometimes punch behind her, and there would be an explosion, and she would propel herself forward.
Yielded a fusion of fire.
So right there, it looked like she just did one strike, and this guy appears to be stunned and have vulnerability. So we might have a CC here.
Firearm and longsword.
I feel like this is just a very minor, critique here. That the anchoring of the item in the hand is not correct. Usually if you're gonna hold like a sword, a bat, or something, especially if you're right-handed, I believe the hand placement would be like this. But right now she's got hand over hand like this, which can't be that effective. I wonder if they're gonna tweak that later.
And longsword. The gun saber.
Okay, so here. I believe we might have seen the same... Yeah, it looks like we're seeing CC here as well. So I believe this is the same exact skill seen from a different camera angle. Seeing what appears to be the stun and the vulnerability.
Only a dedicated...
And then a hit, and then a spin, and then another hit. Possibly the auto attack chain, and there's some explosions there. So maybe on the second or third hit of the chain, there's some bonus damage.
A highly trained warrior can handle such a volatile weapon.
Right there, it appears that she has a skill where she spins, and then it looks like she fires a fan of 4 projectiles out. Very similar to Axe 2 on Ranger Split Blade, or Shortbow 2 on Ranger that fires the poison volley. And if it works the same mechanically, then the closer you are to the target, the more damage they take, because one target can be hit by multiple projectiles.
Saber attacks enhance the Bladesworn's flow, allowing them to use their...
Okay, so right there, possibly just a backward dodge roll. This right here is what had me grinning earlier. At the risk of weeping out, this reminds me of so many shows. This reminds me, Rurouni Kenshin. It reminds me of Zoro from One Piece. Reminds me of Sekiro, the game that was a big hit recently. I believe they call this EI Jutsu. And it's basically when they start sheathed, and then they do like an insanely fast attack, and then it ends with the sword back in its sheath.
Dragon trigger. In this...
So right here, a lot of swirling. I like how the dust kicks up. This very Dragon Ball Z.
State of calm and concentration.
And then she slashes through all of them. They can load their gun
saber with magically imbued cartridges that...
So maybe not EI Jutsu exactly, because she's not ending it with it back in the sheath, but yeah, reminiscent of it. And I love it. I think that's an awesome graphic. I think that's absolutely awesome. Wait, did I just see... Hold on. Oh my gosh. Wait. Right there. It actually drops shells. That's amazing. I love it. That's so over the top. I love it. So you actually have shells fall out of you as you're doing these explosive attacks.
With magically imbued
litter the ground
that power up their attacks. With their gun sabers.
Oh, there's another one where she sheathed the weapon, but it did a very large, it looked like 360 attack.
Sheathed. They wield offhand pistols to maintain their flow.
Now right here, we only see the pistol for a brief second, but we see her fire the pistol, and she, by the way, cool looking sword. Fire the pistol, and she slides backward. So it does damage. The scene transition comes in before we can see if there was like a daze or a vuln or anything like that. But it seems to be, like a skill to use a little bit of distance. You can use it to push yourself backward. That's very cool. Reminded of Ranger Shortbow 3, which you fire an arrow to target and kind of kick backward, and you land like 5 feet back. Now, Ranger Shortbow 3 is an evade. So when you use that little, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's like a little hop. It's almost like an extra dodge roll, but I think it might be a smaller evade frame. So there's a very decent chance, if this is meant to serve the same purpose, that this little slide is an evade. Now, I'm not saying it's a sure thing. I'm just saying it would go in line with stuff they've already done. Ranger One-Handed Sword 3 as well. Same thing. You kick backward off the target to gain a little bit of distance, and it's an evade. In the case of that move, it's an evade after, like on the second half of the animation. And then here we can see a Sylvari, a Char, and an Asura doing the with the sheathed weapon about to strike animation. That looks pretty good on all of them. There are some animations that look pretty good on one race and on others. That looks pretty good on all of them. So that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Is there anything else? No, the rest of it is just the pre-order information. I like it. I like it. I'm wondering where this will be useful. In PvE, you know, it's all about just the damage. It's all about DPS. Like, what utility do you bring? And for warriors, that's their main thing is banners, because no one else can bring those buffs. So if you bring banners, could you be a banner warrior and then do damage on Bladesworn that is good enough to compete with the Berserker? That would be the big question. For PvP, although you occasionally see some Berserkers, I personally am far more scared of a skilled Spellbreaker. Because, you know, a Berserker might kill me, but I could possibly kill the Berserker as well. Spellbreaker basically makes me feel like they're uninstalling my game. I can't play at all. They have so much CC. I wonder if this will be a viable alternative at the higher tiers for those. Definitely, this looks fun. This looks interesting. This looks cool.
In this state of
skimming over the first comment. Now I'm motivated. They won't give us gun blades. That's absurd. Gun saber. I can't wait to play Greatsword Revenant. Oh, Gunbreaker Samurai. Yeah, like everyone's excited, and I'm not surprised. Good job, ArenaNet. This is cool. This is interesting.
and concentration.
It's so over the
They
top.
can
This is
load their
wonderful.
gun saber.
I hope that there is some game mode where this works well in. That's the next step, you know? They got the animations. It appears they've already got the skills next this week in the numbers. I hope that there is some game mode, be it PvE, PvP, World v World, where people can enjoy this, and it's a valid choice, you know? It doesn't have to be the best choice, but if it's like comparable damage to Berserker PvE, or if it's a decent win rate compared to the other options of PvP, any of that would be good. Yeah, this is fantastic. This, among the new... Let's see, this is the 5th new teaser trailer we've seen so far. This is probably my favorite one. And I don't even like Warrior. Just, this is cool. And at this point, I'm just gushing in circles. Okay, if you've got any questions, problems, thoughts, concerns, comments on anything you think I missed in this, put them in the comments down below. If they continue with the trend of what they've been doing, I would guess that we might get a trailer for Elementalist, which appeared to be having a hammer, tomorrow. And then the next day, we'll have the live stream that has got all of the detailed information. All right, with that, see you next time.